Alright, we're going to make a catch can for the Corolla today. I've been practicing my aluminium welding. It is getting better, still not great, but I've been practicing all different types of welds. This is a failed attempt at a catch can, so I'm going to make another one from scratch, show how I make it. Alright, I've made a rough cardboard template. It's going to sit behind the shock on the passenger side, tucked away in the corner. So let's go see if it fits in the car. Alright, that seems to fit alright. We're going to cut out this top bit and back bits, fold that, and then make our sides, our baffle, and do the bottom plate last. So we'll get cutting. Alright, that's the top piece bend, that's the front with the inlets, that's the back. That bender bends it pretty well. I'll just double check it fits in the car, then we'll start making sides. Yeah, after fitting the car, it looks like this back bit could be slightly shorter, just looks like it's not tucking up tight enough, so I'm just going to trim that down a little bit and see how that fits. Alright, that fits a lot better, a bit of a trim. Now we'll make the side parts and the baffle. Alright, now I'm going to make the baffle for the inside of here. In there, and I'll make that look like Swiss cheese so it can breathe through there, and I'll just leave the top metal so oil that comes through the top won't go through the breather side, and we'll just Swiss cheese the bottom part. Alright, that's a finished baffle. Next we've just got to work out where it welds into here, like that. Alright, that's the baffle in place. It's all cleaned up with acetone. Let's weld it. Alright, next got to put one side on, tack it up. I think I might take both sides and then weld them all together. I have warped this slightly, so yeah, not much I can do about that, just keep going. Tacked up. Well, that's probably some of my best alley welds yet. They're getting more and more consistent. You've really got to find a position to hold your hands straight so it doesn't dip the tungsten, and work out your body position so you can slide and glide at a right speed. It's fun. I wish I had a welding table. I'm doing this with a vise and a brick, so but it's working. So it's, you know, practice makes perfect. If you've got to do stuff, you just got to keep at it. course, my worst welds are on the panel that you're going to see the most in the car. Almost, anyway. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Alright, I've drew out the holes for the A10 bungs, but I buffed up this one here and made it slightly too big. So don't know if I'm going to be able to just wedge a bit of welding wire in there to kind of hold it up. Yeah, either totally ruined it or maybe I can save it. We'll find out in a second. Alright, that's horrible. But hopefully it seals. I don't really care how it looks as long as it's functional. So that is a hard thing to weld. Hopefully get better on next two. Our first bung. Second, by the time we got to the third, I think starting to get the hang of it. So practice does make perfect. Hopefully these things are sealed. Hopefully I can do some sort of pressure test once I've put the bottom on and put some bungs, put some covers on the bungs. Also, you noticed me, I was screwing this lid on the thread. I'm just paranoid that I'm going to melt the threads and I could just wind them back into spot. So I just kept on making sure they were good throughout the process. Yeah, so I'll let this cool. I'll cut the bottom off. We'll weld on the bottom and then we'll make some tabs to fit in the car. All right, before I weld the bottom one, I'm going to put a lid on the top so I can just access it, make sure I can see what the oil levels are like. I could pull out the oil from the top as well with a syringe. I'm not going to put a drain on it just yet. So got this little lid with a screw. We're going to drill a hole and weld this in. All right. So my better welds for the day. It was surprising. I thought this thing was going to be harder to weld, but it seems to turn out okay. All right. I've made a top piece, sorry, a bottom piece, which will weld to the bottom over there. But first what we're going to do is we're going to fill the return air side with some steel wool to keep that air clean that comes out and oil down, and then we'll weld the top one, I mean the bottom one.
Make it not like this, make it drop.
Well, there's some progress. Check out them beads. Getting better with every shot. Now why can't they all look like that? And then what I realised is that I'm cranking up the heat more on the welder. So I was welding at like 75 amps, now I've cranked it up to like 90, and just using the foot pedal to give more power as I need it, and I can release and control the power a bit more, and the welds are actually going deeper, so they've actually sunken in here a bit more, where these ones here probably haven't sunken in enough, so probably haven't penetrated as well. But we'll give it a leak test and see if it leaks. If not, we'll just make another one, I guess. Alright, I'll put some water in. Seems to be no leaks, which is a good sign. Now we'll pop it in the car and we'll make some brackets to hold it up. Alright, I've bent another little bracket to weld on the front and to mount on the corner of the strut wall, so that will hold it from the bottom. This will hold it from the back. That should be enough to hold it in. So I'll drill a hole and then we'll weld this in. Alright, let's weld it on. It's pretty hot. We'll put that back in the car, drill a hole, put a nutsert in, and bolt it up. Then she's good for paint. She is. Alright, not the prettiest, but we'll do the job. We'll sand this down, give her a lick of paint, and then we might do something with this cap. Thought I might try something different and try and laser etch this anodized lid. Not too sure if it's going to work, but I've got my laser there, so we're going to pop this underneath. Got a little design there, see if it works. Alright, that's done. Nice little boost juice to the top of the catch can. It's been lasered off. Awesome. There she is, fully complete. Alright, got some AN fittings, some hose and a filter. We'll pop it on. Alright, it's all completed.